Hey, what is going on, everyone? We are here to cover some horse girl content. You know what we're here for. My Discord community recommended, we cover this because it's popular right now, and I'm considering doing the game. I was about to do Space Marine too, but it looks like this is where the heat is. We're watching the anime, so why not pivot? I can always do Space Marine 2 a little later. And Wuthering Waves, another one that the Discord community was hyping up. So if you want to recommend content, I actually encourage y'all to check out the Discord. I actually just opened up a channel where you guys can suggest and at me at particular suggestions. Know that I'm going to note the ones that the community wants to see the most. So if you are one of 5 people in this world, there's 7 billion people that is interested in that particular thing, I'm not really going to be looking into that. We're looking at one-off things, popular music video, dope movie recommendations, which I actually would do for the group, but that's a different point aside. Lore videos, Warhammer videos, check out this. This creator's discussing this. Things like that, one-off things. We're not looking for long commitments like a whole series. I got a couple of videos that caught my attention as far as Umamusume goes, but Oguri Cap, it's Oguri Cap, and I don't want to be spoiled on things, so this is where I wanted to start off with. And I'm also interested in how anime horse girls took over the internet. So let's jump into Oguri Cap, because she's the GOAT, the one I first started off with, because I started off out of order, like many people who are joining this franchise. So let's jump into it. Much love to you guys. And I switched platforms. Everything looks different than whatever you looked at just now because my computer keeps crashing. Yo, real quick, I actually plan on streaming, and one of the reasons I don't stream is my OBS always crashes. I don't know what it is, who's after me, but my OBS always crashes no matter what. Hey, love, whenever you come back, can you bring my chain? I don't feel like myself. On my bed? Not my bed, next to my dresser. Thanks. All right. So if you see my kid just in the background, the whole studio is a mess. It's summer vacation. She just chill with me, and it is what it is. So hopefully, no degenerate content pops up on my screen.
Complete. That fiction can only. Sometimes reality produces a story so perfect, so narratively complete, that fiction can only hope to pay tribute. A story with a flawless arc, an underdog hero, and a final moment that feels almost too good to be true.
The hype.
Near the worlds of anime or mobile gaming recently, you might recognize this character. She is a quiet, gray-haired girl from the countryside, a monster on the racetrack with a stoic personality and an almost comically huge appetite. She is stronger than anyone. She is loved than anyone else. She is Oguri Kappa, a central figure from the world of Umamusume Pretty Derby, the game that has.
I gotta be honest with you. I feel like I'm supposed to be mad hype, but I actually really like Special Week. I really like Special Week, and I know as a character, I'm not talking about the horse, but as a character, Oguri got the physical aspect. Like, she's strong, she built strong. But I like how, I'm talking about from the anime, not the horses, how normal Special Week comes off as. Like, her body type, the way she is. Like, she don't strike me as a winner like Oguri Cap. She don't strike me like she's built like that. Again, talking about the anime, we're not talking about the real horses.
Has in recent times completely dominated the cultural landscape and become a genuine phenomenon. But her story didn't begin in a writer's room, it began decades ago on a racetrack, because she is the reincarnation of one of Japan's greatest supporting legends, a real horse named Oguri Kappa. An athlete from humble beginnings who became a national icon, the people's champion, and the catalyst for a massive cultural boom in the late 1980s. And with the anniversary of his passing having just occurred on July 3rd, it feels like the right time to tell his story. To anyone else, this is a horse, but to Umamusume fans, this is the GOAT. So this is the tribute for the absolute GOAT. Looking at how the life of this animal provided the perfect.
Is that like in the game? Is that like in the game? I ain't gonna lie, this looks fire.
Hero.
I'm not just saying that.
Who retired over 30 years ago, became one of the most compelling protagonists in anime today and gaming too.
This guy has a great video,
So to really understand why this adaptation works so well, you first have to understand the source material. And in this case, the source material wasn't a manga or a light novel, it was the life of an actual horse. Because when you break it down, the story of the real Oguri Kapu, I'm gonna say it normally now, Oguri Kapu, reads less like a history record and more like a pre-written, almost perfectly structured hero's journey. It has all of the core elements you would look for in fiction. It starts with the humble origins, the classic Cinderella angle. Oguri Cap didn't come from the top tier of Japanese racing.
I'm not just saying this, but I really like the visuals. The visuals, like, I'm actually just gonna go back, you know? That, I guess that's a manga cover. It's fire.
It has all of the core elements you would look for in fiction. It starts with the humble origins, the classics.
Yeah, that looks, we're talking about a hero story, and we're seeing graphics like this. Not graphics like this, art like this. And I'm like, yo, that's fire.
Cinderella angle.
Don't me betray special week and go right back to the OG.
Racing, the JRA, which is basically the major leagues. He started off in the regional
that sounds like an Assassin's Guild.
NAR. So right from the beginning, he is branded as an outsider, a country horse, being taken to the Old Town Road. I don't even know what I'm saying. Haha. No, you don't think that's funny? And on top of that,
actually,
his pedigree, his bloodline, wasn't considered elite. In a world like thoroughbred racing, where the lineage is everything, he wasn't expected to be a world beater. This set up a very real, very tangible conflict that the public could easily grasp. The scrappy kid from the countryside going up against the established blue blood elites of the Central Circuit. Kinda like a shonen story. But this is where the twist happens.
Yeah.
Because while he was an underdog in status, he was an absolute monster on the track. When he finally moved to the JRA, he went on an undefeated 6-race winning streak. All the initial skepticism from the commentators, the quiet doubts about whether this regional horse could actually compete, that all vanished pretty quickly. It became clear he wasn't just a good horse, he was a dominant force. Kaibutsu. Over his career, his total earnings would amount to over 912 million.
Oh my god.
He had this immense, undeniable power that completely contradicted his humble background. But what is a hero without a rival? History gave him the perfect one in a horse named Tamamo Croc.
I know, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. You guys are always in the comment section hyping up these horses, and I haven't been feeling it. I haven't. I'm kind of like, I'm here for the anime girls. With that being said, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I see. Especially if you've been following the real life lore. It's like, yo, that's crazy. If I had to think of the equivalent, like, to me, don't shoot me. It'd be like watching 3 great titans or beasts fighting or moving politically with the whole entourage blocking trade, having shadow wars, proxy wars, and stuff like that. And you guys are like, oh, this is a dope anime. And I come through and say, yo, y'all don't even know. That's United States over there. That's Russia over there. That's China over there. That one represents Japan. Oh. The reason why that country's mad, or the reason why that character's mad, because they stubbed their toe. That's a reference to Pearl Harbor, son. The toe getting stubbed, and now they mad, and now they fighting everybody, right? It's because they toe got stubbed back in Pearl Harbor. Yeah. And to this day, now they're invading other people's affairs. Why? Because they remember the time when their toe got stubbed. We won't forget. And the one time they thought they forgot, remember that episode when they knocked down their building blocks? That was a reference to, you already know, Twin Towers. It was 2 building blocks, and they got knocked down. They were the Legos. And he put all his time into it. So now he's going on another quest for freedom to take down all these people because of the Legos. But that's a reference to real life. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even know this anime had those kind of references, because I'm into politics, foreign affairs, and military stuff. So if I see that in the anime and it's mirroring real life conflicts in history, I'm going to get excited if I can make that connection. So I see it for you guys. I see it, man. Don't knock over the homies' Legos, because the whole world's gonna get bodied. We're gonna liberate y'all for freedom.
The media and the public loved this matchup because it's like a storyteller's gift. They were both this striking gray horses who had clawed their way up to the top. The gray versus gray narrative practically wrote itself, and their duels on the track played out like a classic dramatic arc. In the autumn of 1988, Tamamo Cross defeated him in a major race, the Tenno-sho. It was a setback for Oguri, but then just a couple of months later, in the season-ending championships, the Arimakinen, Oguri Cap turns the tables and gets his revenge.
Okay.
100,000 people. It is the perfect storybook ending. The fallen hero, counted out by everyone, returns for one last impossible triumph. It is a moment of catharsis that fiction constantly strives for, but reality very rarely provides. So when you have a real story with all of these elements already in place, the question for a creator isn't what do we invent, but rather how do we translate it? Well, the first and I think the smartest thing the creator did was in translating Oguri Cap's spirit into a personality. The real horse was known for his immense fighting spirit. He was nicknamed the Gray Monster, a Kaibutsu. The easy route would have been to make the character loud, aggressive, a typical shonen protagonist, but they didn't do that. Instead, the Oguri Cap of Umamusume is quiet. She is stoic. In anime terms, she is what you would call a kudere. That is the type of character who is cool and distant on the outside, but has a lot going on underneath. It is a deliberate choice, and I think it's a clever one. By making her so reserved in her daily life, the moments when that monster power is unleashed on the track become far more impactful. It creates a stark contrast that makes her presence feel immense. And then there's that most famous trait, the one that is a direct one-to-one adaptation, the appetite. The real horse was a notoriously huge eater. The anime takes this fact and turns it into her defining quirk. This is where you see the fan community really latch on. Every time she's eating. Like Oguri the Gray Munster, spawning memes about her ordering over 900 family meals from KFC during a promotion. It is more than a gag, I think. It makes the monster endearing in a way, and this idea is woven right into the game's mechanics.
And the horse wasn't overweight or nothing.
You have the gourmand skill, which literally restores her stamina mid-race. You know, pretty simple enough. But looking in deeper, her in-game design is a masterclass in reflecting the real horse's versatility. She possesses an A aptitude for both turf and dirt tracks. She can excel both mile and medium distances. This means players can build her as a pacer who stays mid-pack or a late surger who closes from behind. This mechanical flexibility isn't just for gameplay variety, it is a direct reflection of the real Oguri Cap's remarkable ability to win major races under wildly different conditions. It lets the player feel his legendary adaptability. And now finally, you see this art of translation in the small detail.
I gotta throw out this YouTube channel, guys, that I'm reacted to, Clavacchio. This is one of the greatest commentators I've ever listened to. I'm not exaggerating. And when it comes to YouTube, his voice, his enthusiasm is second to none. And he is very good. There's very good ones. You know, there's very good ones. You know, maybe there's someone better than him. Maybe there's two people better than him. But right now, today, the passion that I'm feeling, I'm like, nah, this guy is great, man. So go ahead, give him a follow. It's Clavicchio. I'm gonna make sure I include it in my description of this video. This guy is great.
Of her design, the things you might not notice at first glance. These are the quiet homages that
look at this girl in the back
for the source material. The crown she wears, with its yellow and diamond pattern, it is a direct reference of the racing skills. The jockey's uniform, one of her primary owners. The little star emblem on her school uniform collar, that is the Kazamatsu star, a symbol of her humble home racecourse where her journey began. Like they ground this fantasy character in historical fact. They are a constant quiet acknowledgement of the real legacy she represents. The same level of detail, this respect for the source material, is applied to how they handled the actual iconic events of Oguri Cap's career. The creators use the historical record as a scaffolding to build their drama. They take the key moments and amplify the emotion that was already there. A perfect example of this is how they handled the Japanese Derby. In real life, Oguri Cap was barred from entering the Derby, which is the most prestigious race for a 3-year-old horse in Japan. The reason was a bureaucratic one. He had started his his career in the regional leagues, and the registration rules at the time just didn't allow him to participate. Now, a lesser adaptation might have just skipped this, right? Or mentioned it in passing. But in Cinderella Grey, this isn't a footnote. It is a tragic, defining moment.
Yes, I remember.
It is framed as a gut punch. The story shows her dream of winning, only to have that dream ripped away by a rule she can do nothing about. It powerfully reinforces her status as an outsider being blocked by the system, turning a simple book issue into a deep personal struggle that fuels her motivation for the rest of the story. You also see this in how they frame her rivalry with Tamamo Cross. We know from the record that their first major clash ended in a loss for Oguri Cap, but in the anime this is not just a loss, it is the climax for the entire first season. The story deliberately builds Tamamo Cross up as the seemingly unbeatable peak, so when Oguri loses, it is not portrayed as a failure. It is the spark for her growth. It is the moment she understands the level she needs to reach, giving her a real tangible goal instead of
I just keep smiling
to win. They took a historical defeat and turned it into the true beginning of her journey as a top-tier
small in the game.
But maybe the most masterful choice they made in dramatizing the record is with a character who never even existed. Her trainer, Kitahara Jo. In reality, Oguri Cap's success was the product of many people. His first trainer at Kasamatsu, his JRA trainer, Tsutomu Setoguchi, and most importantly, his groom, Ikechi Toshiro, who was so dedicated that stories say he damaged his own eyesight giving the horse daily therapeutic treatments. Instead of trying to juggle all of these,
how do you damage your own eyesight?
The creators made a single composite character. Kitahara Jo embodies the faith of all of them. He has the skill of the trainers, and most importantly, he carries the deep emotional bond of the group.
That's why he never goes on. In my opinion, this probably is why he never carried on as her trainer as she moved over to the big leagues. He was like everybody else. And I have a hard time articulating it, but the way they just explain how he's like everybody in one, but he didn't go on to be her official trainer when because he had to get his license or whatever, and kind of pushed him. It's like, oh, okay.
It is a very smart storytelling choice. It streamlines the narrative, giving the audience one powerful, central relationship to invest in, which carries all of the emotional weight of her entire real-life support system. It is a series of deliberate choices that all serve one purpose, to honor the spirit of the original story. And the effect this has had is remarkable, because what you end up with isn't just a successful adaptation. It is a symbiotic relationship between the past and the present. One couldn't really exist as it does without the other. The incredible dramatic reality of the horse gave the fiction its soul. It provided a story so emotionally resonant that it felt so true, because it was. But now, the fiction is repaying that depth. The popularity of Umamusume and the Cinderella Grey in particular has driven a massive new wave of interest in the historical record. In essence, it's created a second Oguri Cap boom. Over 3 decades after the first one ended. This isn't an exaggeration, okay? The original boom was so intense that when the real Oguri Cap retired to stud at the Yushin Stallion Station, the farm had to install bleachers just to handle the throngs of fans who traveled all the way to Hokkaido simply to sit and watch their hero graze in his paddock. And today we see that same passion reborn. His old home track, Kasamatsu Racecourse, now hosts collaboration events, and thousands of fans of the anime show up traveling to this little town to walk the grounds where their hero's journey began. They're connected.
That's amazing,
because the fiction invited them in, which brings us to what this all really means. Okay, a franchise like this through a character like Oguri Cap,
someone's making money, bro.
Culture preservation. It is entertainment, but it is also a living monument. It ensures that these legendary stories don't just endure in dusty record books or in the memories of those who were there. They are being felt, experienced, and loved by an entirely new generation, both in Japan and globally. The legend isn't just being remembered, it is alive, and it is still running. So that leaves me with one final thought I would like to leave with you. When adapting a true story, what do you think is more important? Strict factual accuracy or capturing the emotional spirit of the events? Let me know your thoughts down below, but that is all from me, Glaive Kyo, and I will see you in the next one.
Glaive Kyo did a fantastic job. I wonder where you're from. Your English is immaculate. I can hear something there as the way words are pronounced. I think this man has incredible diction. I just like listening to him, and this is my first time, so I hope he's covering the video I want to watch. Oh, he's not, which is how the anime horse girls took over the internet. That's gonna be somebody else, but there's gonna be a couple other videos that we're gonna check out from this guy. All right. I thought that was good. Yo, man, this was a phenomenal recommendation from the Discord community. Again, I wasn't really connecting with the passion in the comment sections because I'm into the horse girls. But what really connected with me, and I'm not just saying this, is that it is bringing your history to life, right? And if you're a fan of this or originally, like its art form has just changed phases, not or its art form has manifested differently. It's not even an art form. It's iconic. This is an iconic horse, and is being manifested in this anime, and it's causing people to go to the original site where the homie was at and pay homage, and to a racehorse owner, or to anyone that has property or anything like that. Like, their time could have passed, but they're seeing it be reignited through this anime. And especially, I get comments from Japan, and I can see that. It would be if somehow Jamaica, is my family's from. Not that I get too hype about it because I was born in America, and I got a whole lot of family history I don't want to bring up. But the point is, I'd be very proud. Shout out to Cool Runnings, if there was an anime or a movie or a show that put Jamaica on the map. And then a bunch of people wanted to go to Jamaica. They wanted to invest in Jamaica, and all of a sudden, Jamaica is no longer a third world country. It would make me very proud, even though you don't see me rep Jamaica too hard. But that's where my people are from, so I would get very, very, very excited. You know what's something very random? Nigeria. I got I don't know, a great chunk of my genes coming from Nigeria. I looked up Nigeria. I'm like, oh man, this country is suffering. So I went and I donate to a charity over there. But I would feel great if I saw all of a sudden Nigeria became a powerhouse because of some anime or a movie or whatever. I'm like, yo, that's where my genes are from. Those are things for me. So I see where the passion is coming from, and the narrative, the drama is really equal. I shouldn't say equal, but because the word equal doesn't matter. I'm not saying it is equal or not equal. Sometimes it's just, hear me out. It reminds me of any other sport, like boxing. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, all the drama that goes around there. Mike Tyson was protesting the Vietnam War. He got locked up, came back, and still won and got a championship. Those kinds of stories is what you guys had with the horses. And that's pretty dope. Especially when they talk about this horse being pushed outside, like the system is holding him down, and the narrative that gets spent around. I remember the journalist that was hyping up Oguri Cap, really helping her story. So anyways, I think this is a fantastic product, and this backstory made me appreciate the anime more. It really did. And your comments hyping up these horses, now I have a connection with you guys. I see why you're very excited. So I thank my Discord community for recommending this. Until the next video, you guys already know who I am. I'm Yaboyrocklee Lee. I'm out. Guys, quick reality check for the collective, which is you, our audience. That's my nickname for the Rock family. We're hitting 1.5 million views on a monthly basis, and that's iconic. But 71% of you guys haven't subscribed yet. That's almost 1 million people who are watching, but not subscribed. Now, if just 10% of those viewers hit the subscribe button, we would add nearly 100,000 new members to the Rock family, the collective, overnight. That kind of growth would change everything. What? Better content, more variety, higher production value, all the things I read you guys ask for in the comment section. So subscribe. And if you really want to be part of Rock family, you can also turn on all notifications. Thank you.